Over 1,000 people have been left stranded in the Dakota informal settlement in the south of Durban. This comes after a devastating fire broke out last night, sweeping through more than 300 makeshift structures. Our reporter Nobuhle Modise joins us now live from there with the latest. Nobuhle, tell me, we see some of the debris behind you, people trying to gather, I suppose, what they can, what's left after the fire. What more can you tell us?
Good afternoon, Aaron. Well, at this moment, people are still doing pretty much the same thing that they were doing earlier, which is, trying to salvage some of their belongings. When I was speaking to a resident earlier, I asked her where she was when the fire took place, and she says she just heard someone screaming that there was a fire here, and she didn't manage to take out anything. So her ID, her clothes, she's only left with the clothes on her back, and a lot of them are just saying that actually they don't know what happened. Disaster management is also trying to find out what exactly was the cause of the fire. At this moment, it's not clear what exactly caused that fire, but we do know that here, this is not something that's new here. There's numerous fires that have taken place here, but you must remember as well that there were also, just recovering from 2 rounds of floods here, and now this has just taken place. So this Dakota informal settlement is on a flat plain, and essentially it means that it's susceptible to a lot of inclement weather, and it's right next to the beach, as you can see. So that's why so many of these devastating tragedies that have taken place here have left them destitute in this way, and this is just another one of those. And many of them are saying that right now at this point in time they don't know what to do. They're looking to the Human Settlements Department, they're looking at the Integrity Municipality to kind of find a way forward. I assume that they will also be bringing the Home Affairs Department here, because some people are saying that their identification documents were inside their homes when their homes were gutted. So a lot of people here are saying they have no identification. The only thing that they have left are the clothes on their back. We saw Gift of the Givers here earlier, just handing out some food hampers. And the situation has just been like this the entire morning. When I asked some of them, what happened last night? Where did you manage to sleep? We know that the Integrity Municipality has said that there's a community hall around the area here where they managed to house some of the people here. But some of them are saying that they managed to sleep at some of those homes, that didn't burn down. There were some people who were kind enough to let them sleep in their homes. 350 shacks were burnt down. They managed to save about 50 of those. So some of those people were being housed in those other shacks that did fortunately survive the fire. I'm going to walk to Umama, who is to my right here, and just maybe try and speak to her about where she was when this happened. Sawubona mama njani? Ngiyaphila gogo. Ngicela ungichazele ukuthi izolo kwenzakaleni. Njengoba ngikhuluma nabantu abaningi abazi nokuthi uqale kanjani lo mlilo. Wena okwaziyo yini mawufika lapho kwenzakalani?
Sanibonani. Umlilo angikwazi nami ukuthi uqale kanjani, kodwa uqale lapha ngemva kwendaba after 7. So size ngabantu bescreama nje lapha phezulu. Noma bescreama kanjalo saphumela eminyango masithi umlilo somkhulu and ukhoneki ukuthi ungacisheka. So ukuthi uqale kabani njani asiwazi.
Wena ulahlekele yini ma?
Ngilahlekelwe yiko konke nje. Njengoba ubona ngilahlekelwe impete, istovu, njengoba ubona nje konke.
Izolo ulalapho ma?
Silale lapha phandle eminyango ngasethephini because sisize ukugadisa labo abathe bakwazi ukuthola.
Manje njengoba usuhleli lana mama, ngiyakubona uhleli phambi kweinto zakho ezishile zonke, uthemba ukuthi kungayenzakalani manje?
Asazi silindele ukuthi mhlambe singathola mhlambe sponsors ezithile mhlambe singabangavela, asazi ukuthi kuzokwenzakalani kwamanje. Kodwa ke amagama yonke into asethathiwe, so which is we don't know what.
Enye into gogo, into ekanje iqala ukwenzakala la eDakota. Before makwenzakala isigameko esikanjena benikhona ukusizakala kanjani?
Besizakala ngokuthi khona inkampani yakwa give and forgive, something like it. Bona bafike kuqala basize, and ke bese ukuthi ke necounselor bese lithi lingenelela nalokho. So nje sixhaswa iziponsors thile. Siyabonga ngalondlela.
Erin, she's just explaining to us that, as I say, this is not the first time something like this happens, and she was just explaining that when something like this happened before, they were supported by the likes of Gift of the Givers and the councillor of the area, who I did manage to speak to earlier. He was telling me that he's been in constant communication with the Human Settlements Department nationally as well as provincial, and he's saying they're also trying to speed up the process of making sure that the people here that have been left displaced will be accommodated temporarily as they try and find out what happens here. But I guess another conversation to have about this particular fire, because as I mentioned, this is not the first time something like this happens, is they shouldn't be building in a place like this. This is a flat plain, like I said, and it's susceptible to a lot of inclement weather. So, something has to be done about them not being able to rebuild here and being placed elsewhere, because whenever there's an incident that takes place here, all they do is just rebuild their shacks and carry on with life, and then another tragedy strikes. So the eThekwini municipality has to then have that conversation around how they close off this area so this doesn't happen here again. I'm going to ask my colleague Gift Nkosi just to show you, some of the devastation here. I did mention that some people are also still trying to salvage what's there. Umama that we just spoke to now, quite a sad picture, she's just sitting here helpless. She doesn't know what to do. She's sitting next to her belongings, which are ashes at the moment, and she's just hoping, for some sort of help. She also actually doesn't even know why she's sitting next to her shack, but she's sitting here because there's nowhere else for her to go. She mentioned that she was sleeping outside. Some people managed to sleep at other people's homes that weren't burnt, and she says she managed to sleep outside here just next to the ocean. And so it's very sad sights that we've been seeing throughout the morning, and she's not the only one, Erin, who has told us a devastating story. Earlier I had to speak to a guy who was just explaining to me that he was just as helpless. He was standing there numb, just looking at the devastation. He wasn't even trying to salvage any of his belongings. He was just standing there in complete shock. And like I said, many people are just saying that they don't know what took place here, and at this point, they don't know what to do. And like I said, the councillor of the area has said that he's been in constant communication with the Human Settlements Department. Disaster management is still here assessing the level of damage, and we'll give you updates as and when the day progresses. Erin.
Nobuhle Modise there for us, really staggering scenes, and as you say, 350 tenements, so that's 350 households now bereft after that fire raised through the area. We'll touch base with you a little later on.